Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we have a demonstration for Excel basic functions and the most important things in Excel that are related to the IGCSE exam. Here in this folder we have this workbook in Excel, and we have the instructions on what we need to do here in this file. So let me open the sheet first to explore it. Here we have some data about student marks. In the first column, just the number of the student. Column B, the student name. Column C, the gender, either female or male. Column D, we have the country code of each of these students. Then in column E, we want to retrieve the nationality from this table here. On the right, the yellow table. For example, the country code here is EG, so we want to retrieve Egypt from this table to this cell here. And then for these 6 columns, we have the marks of 6 tasks done by the students. Each mark is between 0 and 10. In column L, we want to calculate the total for these 6 marks for each student. And in column M, we want to do the average for each student. In column N, the result for each student based on this criteria here. If the average is greater than or equal to 4, we put pass, otherwise we put fail. In column O, we want to do the evaluation of each student based on these rules here. If average is greater than or equal to 7, we put good. If it's greater than or equal to 4 but less than 7, we put moderate. And if it's greater than or equal to 4, we put if it is greater than or equal to 0 and less than 4, we put weak. Here in this table, we have some statistics about our data. The number of all students, number of male only, number of female, number of pass, number of fails, sum of all, sum of pass, sum of fail, average of all, average of pass, average of fail, and then the maximum total and the minimum total. Okay, so I will start doing this worksheet starting from this instruction file, instructions of the student's mark sheet. Okay, the first instruction, find the total for all tasks for the first student. We want here to put the total for Minnatullah Yasin. The formula will be sum from F2 to K2. Just type here equal sum. No need to type the references, just select the cells using the mouse and the references will be typed as you can see here, F2 to K2, and then press enter. Find the mean average for all tasks for the first student. We do the same thing, but this time we use the average function from F2 to K2. So press equal average, then choose from F2 to K2, close the bracket and hit enter. Round the average in step number 2 to the nearest whole number. We have a function called round, and this round function receives 2 things. Number 1, the number that we want to round. Number 2, how many digits after the point we want. Actually, I put here the number is the average in the second step, and the number of digits is 0 because we want it to be to the nearest whole number. So we type here in the same cell of M, we just type round in front of the average, open bracket, put comma after that and put 0, and then close the bracket. So the formula will be equal round average from F2 to K2, this is the number, comma 0, this is the number of digits, then enter. Step number 4, calculate the result for the first student based on the following criteria. type pass if the average is greater than or equal to 4, type fail otherwise. So the general formula that must be used here is F, and F must have three things. Number one, the criteria. Number two, the value if this criteria is true. Number three, the value if this criteria is false. So in our case, the average is in cell number M2, which is this one, M2. So we test M2. If it's greater than or equal to 4, we put pass, otherwise we put fail. So let me type it here, equal F bracket, the logical test is M2 greater than or equal to 4, comma, value if true, we put pass, you should put it between speech marks, comma, value if false, again between speech marks put the word fail, then close the bracket. So the formula becomes if M2 is greater than or equal to 4, put pass, otherwise put fail. Then enter. Calculate the eval for the first student based on the following criteria. In the eval column, we want to put good if the average is above or equal to 7. And we want it to be moderate if the average is above or equal to 4 but less than 7. And we need to type weak otherwise. Sorry, weak with A. So the formula will be like this. If M2 is greater than or equal to 7, put good. If M2 is greater than or equal to 4, put moderate. Otherwise, put weak. In here, we need two F's because we have three cases. But in the first one, we need one F because we have only two cases. So let's type it here in this cell, equal F bracket M2 greater than or equal to 7. This is the logical test, comma. What is the value if this condition is true? The value will be the word good, comma. What is the value if this condition is false? We put another F to test if M2 is greater than or equal to 4, comma. What we do if this is true, we put the word moderate, comma. What we put if this condition is false, we put the word weak. We need to close the bracket twice. Why? Because we opened it twice. So the formula will be like this. If M2 is greater than or equal to 7, put good. If M2 is greater than or equal to 4, put moderate. Otherwise, put weak. Now let's come to the replication of all of these formulas that we have done in steps 1, 3, 4, and 5. In order to replicate, we need to double click the bottom of the right corner of the cell when we see the black cross. Let me start with this first. Point to the bottom right corner, then double click. Do the same thing for the average, similar for pass, and also for good here. So this way we replicated all the values. You see that the column of O cannot accommodate the word moderate, so you can just double click this column like this so that it will be extended to accommodate the word moderate. Step number 7. Search the country code of the first student in the yellow table to retrieve the country name to the nationality column. To do the search, we need to use the VLOOKUP function. The VLOOKUP function receives 4 things. Number 1, the cell that we are looking for. Number 2, the table in which we are looking for this value. Number 3, the column in this table that we want to retrieve. Number 4, we can put false if you want it to be exact matching, or true if you want it to be approximate matching. In most of the cases, we prefer to use false to do exact matching. So let me do it here in this column. of the nationality for the first student. We type equal VLOOKUP. The first thing is the lookup value. We are looking for this cell D2, comma, the table array. In which table? In the yellow table. So I come to the yellow table and select it like this, okay, comma, in which column index we want to retrieve. In this table we have two columns, the code and the country name. Actually we want the country name, so it's the second column. So we do not type second, instead we type just number 2 to indicate the second column. Then comma, the last thing is you choose true for approximate matching or false for exact matching. As I told you, we prefer to use false in most of the cases to do exact matching. Then close the bracket. So the formula becomes like this: equal VLOOKUP D2, the value that we are looking for, S2 to T15, this is the table, 2, this is the column in this table, false, this is exact matching, and hit enter. So the first cell EG brings to this cell the word Egypt from the yellow table. Okay, now come to the replication. Replicate the formula in step number 7. We do the same thing, just double click. We see here that we have a problem. Some countries it works fine and some others it does not work. I will zoom out to explain what's wrong with this formula here. If we click on the first cell or the first nationality for the first student and we click in the formula in the second parameter, we see the box is in the correct place. But if we move down to the second student and we click the second parameter, which is the table, we see that the box is moving down one step. And now Malaysia is outside the box, meaning that if I put MY here, it will not work as Malaysia is outside the box. So this is the problem. The box is keeping moving down as we replicate the formula. So the solution is to put or to make this box fixed on this position. How we can do that? We go to the first formula for the first student. We select the second parameter that indicates the table, S2 to T15, like this, and we hit F4 in the keyboard to precede each item in this reference by a $sign. So it becomes $S, $2, colon, $T, $15. Now it will be static. It will not move down. So just hit enter and replicate the cell again. Double click. And now you see that it works for all the students. See, most of the students are from Malaysia, but if you want, let's say, to change, for example, this student, I want to make him from Bangladesh. So I will put BD, for example, and it brings the word Bangladesh from the table, and so on. Come here to the statistic table. In the statistic table, we want to do some calculations. The first one, calculate the number of all students. In this case, we just need to use the normal count function to count column L. Just column L from L2, the first student, to L31, the last student. But if you want to calculate the number of male students only, in this case, I will count column number C that contains the gender from C2 until C31, but not all of them, only the M, because I need male. Okay, similarly we do the female counting from the same range, but in this case we put the letter F as a criteria instead of the letter M. How to calculate the number of passes only? We use COUNTIF, but this time we choose the range N2 to N31 because this range contains the word pass. And also we do the same thing for fail. We use the same range with COUNTIF, and this time we change the criteria to the word fail. Okay, calculating the totals of all students. In here we do not have a criteria, so just use a normal sum for the range L2 to 31. Calculate the totals of past students only, and here we need to use SUMIF. And for SUMIF we need to use two ranges and a criteria in the middle. What is the first range? The first range is the range that determines the word pass, which is the column N. And what is the second range? The second range is the sum range, which is column L. We do the same thing for the totals of fail, but this time we change the word to fail in the middle. Average is also similar to sum. If no criteria, just use the normal average for the column L. If there is a criteria, like here we want only the past students, so we need to use two ranges and a criteria in the middle. The first range to determine the pass a word, and then the second range to determine the sum or the average range. Also fail, it's similar to pass. Just put the first range to tell fail and the second range to tell the numbers that we want to calculate the average for. The last two is to calculate the largest and the smallest. For the smallest we use minimum or min function. For the largest we use the maximum function MAX. Let's do them together. I will zoom in so you can see the screen well. And now number of all students, you just put equal count without a criteria, count the totals, for example. So I select all totals and I close the bracket, so it becomes count from L2 to 31. Then the male, we need to put a criteria, so I will use COUNTIF. For COUNTIF I need two things, range and criteria. The range for the male is column C, so I select column C from C2 until C31. Then I put a comma to tell what is the criteria. The criteria in this case is the letter M that indicates males. So 16 males. What about female? We do it similarly, count F, range and criteria. The range is also column C, and the criteria is the letter F in between speech marks and then close. So we have 14 females. Number of passes, also use COUNTIF, equal COUNTIF. The range this time is the column N that contains the word pass. Then comma, put the word pass and then close the bracket. So 22 students passed, equal COUNTIF. Range again is N, but this time the criteria is fail, close the bracket. So we've done with the count and COUNTIF functions. Let's come to the sum and SUMIF. Sum of all, we use the normal sum as there is no criteria here, equal sum of all totals, close the bracket. Sum of pass, we need to use the SUMIF function. For SUMIF function we need three things. Number one, the criteria and its the range and its criteria, and then the sum range. The range of pass is column N, comma, put the word pass, comma, the sum range is column L, close the bracket. Fail, we do it in a similar way, equal SUMIF. Again, we have three things: range and its criteria, then the sum range. The range for the fail is column N, comma, the criteria this time is the word fail, and comma, the sum range is the column L. Close the bracket, hit enter. Okay. In a similar way, we can do the three averages functions here in these three cells. The first one has no criteria, so we just use the normal average for all totals. For the second and the third, we need to use average F because we have a criteria, pass or fail. So equal average F, range, criteria, average range. The range of pass and fail is column N, comma, we put the word pass, comma, we put the average range is the L. Then close the bracket. Similarly, we do the fail, equal average F, the first range is the result to tell who failed, and then we put the average range, the L column. Close the bracket, hit enter. The last two are easy, the MIN for minimum and MAX for maximum. So just put equal min, then select the range of the totals, close, enter. Similarly, we put max, we select the totals, and then we close and hit enter. So the minimum value is 10 and the maximum is 60. So you see here I have filled up my worksheet with the necessary functions to do all of these calculations. Now it's time to do step number 10, which is the data validation. We need you to do data validation for the tasks columns to assure that they accept only values between 0 to 10. Give appropriate error message to prompt the user to enter the correct mark. Actually, data validation is a way to prevent entry mistakes. So we can do that from data tab, then data tools group, then data validation. First, before we do it, we need to select the 6 input columns, okay, from T1 until T6, and then from data tab and under data tools group, open the data validation command and data validation. You see here that it allows everything, but I needed to allow only a whole number that lies between 0 minimum and 10 maximum. And I can specify error alert here. Let's put mark error in the title, and then I type in the error message. For example, I can say please enter a mark between 0 and 10. Then I press OK. This time if I put any wrong value, for example if I put -5 here, it will be rejected with this error message, please enter a mark between 0 and 10. So if I retry with a correct one, let's say 9, so it will work with no problem. This is how we do the validation. Step number 11, do conditional formatting for the result columns, so that we want the word pass to be formatted like this: green as a back color and black as a fore color. Similarly, we want the word fail to be formatted like this: red as a back color and black as a fore color. How to do this dynamically? We need to do conditional formatting. From Home tab, from Styles group, there is an icon to do the conditional formatting. First, you need to select the results like this, and then go to Home tab, conditional formatting. You can specify the rules. In this case, the most suitable one is equal to. First, I will specify the word pass, and then I will choose from custom format the font color to be automatic or black and the fill color to be green, and then OK. So you see here that all the pass students are formatted with black on green. Then click OK. Do the similar thing for the fail. From conditional formatting, choose equal to, this time type the word fail, and from custom format, font automatic and the fill is red, and then click OK. So you see that all of the column N is formatted conditionally based on the marks here, meaning that if I change any of these marks for the 6 assignments, the word pass may be converted to fail. At the same time, the formatting will be changed to black on red. Let's try this. For this second student here, I will put 0, 1, 1, 1. So see here, fail, so it becomes black on red. Sort the data based on the nationality ascending and based on the student name descending. So we have two sortings here. Number one, the nationality ascending means from A to Z, and then inside the nationality I want to sort the students for each nationality based on the student name descending means from Z to A. So sorting is from Home tab, editing group, sort and filter, and then click custom sort. I prefer to click inside the table like this, and then Control A to select the data sheet only, and then go to sort and filter. You can use these two commands, but I prefer to use custom sort. And now I have already added them. Let me delete them and show you how to do them. From add level, first level is the nationality, and I want it to be ascending, so I choose here from A to Z. Add another level for the student name, and this time change it to Z to A to be descending, and then click OK. You see here the nationalities now are from A to Z, starting from Bangladesh and ending with Yemen. And if you look to, for example, Malaysia, and the students of Malaysia, you see that they are sorted from Z to A, starting from T, for example here T, then S, then O, and so on. Okay, we have another concept here, the extract function. Extract the data of only the Malaysian female students who passed the exam. Extract means that we need to filter the data to show some of it based on a certain criteria and hide the rest of the data. Here we have three filters. Number one, the nationality is Malaysian. Number two, the gender is female. Number three, the result is pass. So we can do the filtering from Home tab, editing group, sort and filter, and then we press filter. This time no need to click all, just click inside the data sheet, and from Home tab switch on the filter and start doing the filters as per the question. The first filter is nationality Malaysian, so I open the nationality tab and then deselect all and select only Malaysia, then hit OK. The second one is female, so from the gender column deselect M and select only F, then OK. The third one is pass, so from the result column select only pass and click OK. So this is the result of the filter. Students from Malaysia who are females and who passed the exam. Okay, step number 14 is very important for the IGCSE exam. Before you print out, you need to add your name, center number, and candidate number to the center of the footer of the sheet. Sometimes they ask you to put it in the header, so just follow the instruction. How to view the header and footer in Microsoft Excel? From View tab, Workbook Views Group, and then Page Layout. So View tab, Workbook Views, then click Page Layout. In the Page Layout view, we see that we have a header, and if we move down, we have a footer. So in the middle of the footer, we put our name, okay, comma MY963, this is the IMAS center number, and then the candidate number. Okay, click in the sheet, inside the sheet like this, and from view, revert back to the normal view. Done. Step number 15 and 16, we are going to print the extracted data that we did in step 13, but in two different ways. Number one, we will do it, we will print the extracted data, number one, showing the formulas, number two, in landscape orientation, number three, showing the row and column headings, number four, data must be fully visible. So to print, go to File tab and click Print. To show the formulas, from Formulas tab, Show Formula or Preset to be on. To make it landscape, from Page Layout tab, choose the orientation. To show row column headings, you need to go to Page Layout tab, Page Setup, small arrow, and then from the sheet section you can determine that. So let's do it together. First, I will select the data that I want to print, which is this, the extracted data. Then from formulas, I will switch on this icon to show the formulas. Then from Page Layout, I want to make it landscape. So go to Orientation and make it landscape. Row column headings are displayed. This can be done also from Page Layout, this small arrow here, Sheet, and make sure that this option is ticked like this. And the last one, data is fully visible. I prefer to double click each column to just make it suitable for its content. Double click here, double click. This one, see, the formula is not shown, so you need to double click to expand the column. Do the same thing for the rest of the columns. We have a lot of formulas here, so one page will not be enough to do this print out. We need to check the print out. To check how many pages are there, you can go to the View tab and click Page Break Preview. It will tell you here that you have 3 pages. No problem if you have 3 pages, but it's better to move the slider to a suitable place. For example, I will put the number, the student name, gender, country, and nationality in the first place. So let me move this slider here, and in the second page I will put the marks with the total and average, and in the last page I will put the result and the evaluation. That will be good enough. So now back to the normal view. Go to File and Print. How many pages do we have? We have 3 pages. This is the first page, this is the second page, and this is the third page. And you see that in all these 3 pages we have our name here at the bottom of the page. We have the row headings and the column headings shown. We have the formulas fully shown and the data is fully visible. So we can do the print out. So I will save it to my desktop inside my folder here, and I will name it print out number 1. Then click save. Okay, done. The last print out and the last step for this worksheet is this. We want to print also the same extracted data, but this time we do not want to show the formula. Instead we want to show the values. So for printing, file tab, print. To switch off the formula, go to formulas tab and switch off this icon, show formulas. The orientation is portrait. From page layout tab, go to orientation. Row column headings are not displayed. We no need to show the row column headings as we do not have formulas here. We have only values. This can be done from the same place: page layout, page setup, small arrow, and then sheet. Data is fully visible. So let us set up this printout. First, go to formulas, switch off the formulas. Second, go to page layout, change the orientation to portrait. Third, go to page setup, small arrow here, sheet section, and then untick this option to hide the row and column headings, and then OK. The data must be fully shown, so double click each column like this. Okay, now if you open from view the page break preview, we see that we have 2 pages, and you can print them in 2 pages, but I think this time 1 page is enough. So I can move the slider to the right like this, and I have here 1 page only. Click in the middle, normal, from file, click print, and you see here I have only 1 page with the data shown fully. No row headings are shown, and the values are shown instead of the formulas, and we have our name, center number, and candidate number here at the bottom of the page. Click print, save it this time with the name PO2, and then click save. So we have done all of these steps. I hope that all of these skills will be easy for you to be mastered. Thank you so much for listening. See you in the coming demonstrations.